With the Doctor Strange 2 on the way in the next 3 years, presumably, a lot of people are trying to figure out where exactly it's gonna go and what do they do. And are there ramifications of using the Time Stone and it, well, being destroyed? So let's talk about this. So with recent leaks out there, there's a suggestion that Doctor Strange 2 is going to be a retro film. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Essentially, a leaker who's actually been 100% correct with everything he said in the last 6 months said that the second film is going to be set in the 80s. And this kind of got a lot of people scratching their heads on what exactly does this mean, and how is it set in the 80s if the Time Stone is gone? You know, what do you do here? So essentially what they're trying to come up with is theories and ideas and possible solutions to how this happens. And realistically, I have no idea. Honestly, you know, it's Doctor Strange. It's such a weird character, and you know, alternative realities, dimensions, all of this being explored, who really knows? But if you remember all the way back to Doctor Strange 1, messing with time has consequences. So I'm wondering if something crazy is going to happen here that brings it all the way back to that, and they have to somehow travel back in time and correct something in the 80s that sets events in motion through the rest of the MCU. Once again, you can play it as a sort of, you know, cameo here and there, some greatest hits type of things. Maybe you introduce some other Marvel characters like Captain Britain, who was hinted at in the 70s in Avengers Endgame. And at the same time, you just have fun with different decades. Because if nothing, the 80s have become this huge pop culture thing in the last 3 years more than ever before. Like, you can really give it to Stranger Things for bringing everything 80s back to the forefront, where now it's like, if you go to the 80s, you're guaranteed X amount of money and X amount of people loving it, and you got all these retro things, and you can just see the marketing genius behind this, right? Doctor Strange, already a trippy character. Now you got synthwave, you got 80s, and goddamn, I love synthwave music, so I can only imagine that score. But, you know, you have all this thing, and plus the music, and like that special period of time, and all these Easter eggs and things you can mention in there. They just print money and products. Like, it's kind of genius. So I think a lot of people are on to the correct assumption that somehow there's going to be alternative timelines and messing with another time stone. And that honestly sounds pretty insane and awesome.